There must be cash flow, or don't do the deal. There must be cash flow. This is an interesting one. Back when I was a kid, my grandfather started me investing, saving pennies and nickels and putting them in little coin books. And I had a little trash service. I'd go rummage the trash cans and find things that I could sell, and I'd sell them out of the garage, and did all these little things to make some money, and mowed yards. But they had convinced me that I should go and invest in CDs or money markets or even stocks at that time and bonds. And the reason they said that that was a good thing to do was because they talked about this thing called compound interest. Have you ever heard that term, compound interest? And so what would happen is that now you go out there and you earn $1 and it earns you 10 cents this year, but next year you've got $1.10 to earn you 11 cents. And you keep doing that and you figure it out, you know, eventually the compounding of the interest and the income will get you to somewhere where you can live off of the income. And that all made a lot of sense until I tried to explain it to my wife. I said, look, we need to be saving and investing. And she said, why? It doesn't make any sense. I said, well, because we want a better life. She goes, how does it give us a better life? Let's think about this. You work hard to try to get a better job, to try to get more pay so we can live better and keep up with the Joneses. If we take money and stick it in a 401k, do we get any money back? No. If we put it in stocks and bonds, do we get any money back? Could be. But here's the bottom line. You can't have compound interest if there is no interest. So back when I was going into the stock market with my grandfather, we used to look at something called a PE ratio, price earnings ratio. Nobody talks about PE ratios anymore. And companies don't pay dividends anymore. Companies hoard the cash, buy back the ownership from the people that put up the money to start the company, which is us, right? Take all the money and pay it out in bonuses. They don't pay dividends anymore. What about CDs and money markets? 1%, less than 1%, right? So you got to ask yourself this question. Is there a giant government conspiracy to figure out how to not pay us anything on our investments? Absolutely is. Now, I'm not a conspiracy kind of guy, and the reason I can't, because I can't do anything about it. If it really were out there, which it probably is, then you think about it, we can't do anything about it. So we have to learn to play within the rules of that world and function. But the bottom line is, why would you give up $1 today and not spend it and give it to somebody else to do something with if it doesn't pay you to do that? Right? It's got to pay you something to do that. So has anybody got any money in the stock market? Have you been in for the last 10 years? How many have been in for the last 10 years? 10 years ago, the stock market was 11,600. I think it hit 10,000 the other day, did it not? It's 10.4. So it's still less than it was 10 years ago. Now you got paid no dividends, and you got no capital gains, and you've let them have your life savings for 10 years. If you would have given me your life savings 10 years ago, you would be a millionaire right now. I guarantee you. You say, well, that's ridiculous, Del. How could you make that bold of claim? You don't know me. It's not about you. It's what I know. It's not about what you know. It's what I know. And think about it this way. I've been in business now for 20 years. I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you, I've been telling people this kind of stuff for 20 years. Now, do you think that for 20 years, having a couple hundred people each month come in, and I tell them that you can become a millionaire, and I guarantee it can happen, and I show you the knowledge, don't you think somebody would have sued me somewhere along the way for lying, for it being fake? Don't you think that Lifestyles would have complaints at the Better Business Bureau like a gazillion long? We don't. We don't even have one. We have one complaint from a vendor we kicked out because he was cheating our customers. And that's the only complaint we ever had. So what I'm saying to you is, you can have this. And why is it important? Why is it important? Because if you think about it, the only way you can ever truly retire is if you have cash flow coming from another form.